Trigger warning. The following content may discuss sensitive topics such as mental health, abuse, violence. Please proceed with caution and take care of yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to step away.
So this live is going to be about predator awareness, how to protect your children online, how to completely lock down their devices, to safeguard them for any future contact, and just explain to you how to make them aware of what's going on, let them know that there is open communication between yourselves and them. And just, because if they're not prepared and they don't know that these things happen, these predators do have a way of convincing them that everything is okay, that they can be doing certain things. But if you've let them know the dangers that are out there, then they are forewarned, and they know if anyone does interact with them in a way that you've mentioned is wrong, they know that they can come to you.
If there's any big creators watching, if you could just come into the box, that would be great. Sorry, I don't know if my mic was working there.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, was it? Perfect, thank you.
If there is any big creators... sorry, Donna, go on.
Even if they want to come in and sit in the box on mute, at least it might help to get it out there and for the numbers to go up so that people, more people get to see this live and get the information and the advice that we're going to be giving. So if any big creators do want to come, and even if it's on a second device, a second account, and sit in there, just sit on mute, it might help to get the live pushed out to more.
And let's also put a reminder out there, guys, that we actually safeguarded 2 children off TikTok yesterday, and there was another 4 girls that needed safeguarding. So that's in the last 24 hours on this app. So it is important that we get this out there.
Yeah, and it's not just on this app, it's on every single app. If you look at the page that I'm on, the Elite Awareness page, I have uploaded a lot of information on keeping your children safe on such as Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, all the apps, that WhatsApp, all the apps that they can get on. Believe me, they can be approached by online sexual predators. So the awareness needs to be put out there. We need to speak to our children. They need to be aware of what can happen, and to know that if they feel that something has happened that they feel is wrong, that they can come to you and it can be sorted. Because like I say, they have these ways. You know what? These groomers, they don't just groom children, they groom adults as well. They're so clever with their words and the way they speak, the way they articulate themselves, a lot of them, and they have very good tactics on how to make people believe that what they want them to do is okay.
I think it's also worth mentioning, for children that can't go to a parent for whatever reason, don't feel that they have that relationship with them. There is other avenues. You can go to a teacher at school, you can go to your youth worker, there's support workers. Everybody has a duty of care to children. So anybody that hears anything from a child, they have a duty of care to report it. So anybody that child feels comfortable with is the person for them to go to if anything does happen.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just replying to Katie. Yes, Katie, there's some videos on my profile. So if you go to my profile, let me have a look. Let's see if I can show you. Let's see if I can be clever. I'll probably end up dropping off or something, but let me have a look and I'll show you how you can get into. So this is my profile. Okay, right. How do I? Yeah, I told you I was going to be absolutely rubbish at this. Let's turn that round. No, I don't want to turn that round. Right, okay. No, that's the wall, Donna. Okay. Right, so here's my profile. So if you look at this profile and you go to this little symbol here and click on it, you will come to collections. You'll see there, collections. If you hit collections, there's one there that says online safety for children. And if you look, there are lots of, so there's videos. So that video there is information on Roblox. Then I've got keeping children safe online. That's a video. There's one there that's for talking. I'm going through all these and you can't hear me, can you?
Sorry, Donna, we can hear you, but the people are asking in the comments if we could expand you, just so they can see it a little bit better.
Right, okay. And then I'll go through it again. Right, so there's the profile. If you look at this symbol here, if you click on that, all right, click. Oh, I'm already on it, that's why. No. Right. So if you click on that, then you go to collections. No, click on that, Donna. Go to collections. There's the collection, online safety of children. Now, if you, I can't see through there. So there we have violent content online. That is for parents and guardians. We have parent and guardian info on Instagram. That's on Roblox. There's lots in here. So there's videos, safety online videos, online child safety. This here is about showing your children's faces online and how they can be used in AI and literally put on any kind of scenario. Some of the very, very worst scenarios, something that a parent never, ever wants to see their children's faces on. So then we have all these, which are from Wake Up Wednesday. I've just hit something, I started playing something. So these are all here. That's about Google Family Link, which we'll talk about later. Wake Up Wednesday, which I've just mentioned. They're all on here. TikTok safety, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp. So basically you just go on the profile and tap on that little icon there. It'll take you to collections. There's 14 collections in there, and that's the one that you want, online safety of children. If you scroll down, there is also lots of folders full of predators.
It's also worth mentioning the Wake Up Wednesdays. They actually have free access to guides and courses and helpful videos. So they do have some online courses that you can do for free, just as parents. So that's worth mentioning as well.
Yeah. How are we doing for numbers? Oh, jolly good.
Donna, could you put a wee comment in just so that people can click on A and go on our pages here? Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Should we make a start, Donna?
I was just going to say, shall I just mention a bit about my background and what I do on TikTok, and then obviously take it from there. You can do the same. And
Yep, let's go.
okay, so I started in the predator hunting community nearing the end of 2018. I started as a decoy, done 14 months decoying, and decided that I wanted to build a team of my own. So I founded Elite Hunters. Started off as Elite Solos, went on to be Elite Hunters. 4.5 years, I was running that team. Hundreds of predators arrested and charged. So now it come to a point where I couldn't do it any longer due to health reasons. So now what I do is awareness on TikTok. I put posts out pretty much every day of predators and where they are, what charges they've had. If I see that one's been released, I will put the post out to show that they are now free, and to just be aware of who they are and where they are. And I also help, along with Lenny, Hayley and others, The Observer, help to put awareness out there and advice for parents, which is what we're hoping to do tonight. We want to give you as much advice as possible on keeping children safe online and in day-to-day life. And not only that, but how to keep an open communication, the signs to look for, etc. You know, just to try and prevent children going through the horrific things that they are online and in real life. Is that everything? Have I done everything?
No idea, but that was pretty good.
Oh well.
Okay, so I'm Lenny and I work alongside Jay Hunter, who's in the corner there in purple.
Hi, Jay.
We run Cobra UK and also The Den. So The Den started in lockdown when we realised so many children had devices from schools free and were obviously having to do online remote working. So at that point, we opened The Den and we safeguarded 250 children in the first week. At that point, we realised we needed to be there and not come off. So The Den is a group of people that sit in the background and monitor lots and lots of live streaming apps, and we will monitor children to start with, and then it will go from that to find another word, them hurting themselves and being paid to do so by whoever's in the live. We've been in a child's live where there's been over 10,000 people watching that said child. We have had a PDF that spent over £150,000 gifting children to hurt themselves. Everybody that works in The Den are at least level 3 trained. I myself am a safeguarder in my job, my everyday job, safeguarding of children, and have done for over 20 years. So that's my background.
I keep forgetting to turn my mic back on. So yes, obviously we know what needs to be done and we want to share this with you all. So I do know that a lot of people have a lot of questions about how to lock children's devices down. I do know that our lovely Lenny has worked her cotton socks off this week trying to get that information. So if you want to do that, if you want to go through that, Lenny, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. So the first one we will go through as normal is Google Family Link. It gives you access to manage your child's account and data settings. It allows parents to manage the apps and the app and access, screen time, device, bedtime. So you can turn the device into a brick at bedtime so they can't use it apart from to make a call, which I think is brilliant. It's free to use. There's no paid subscription or membership. It's especially good for separated parents and carers and guardians, for the fact that if separated parents both put it on their device, it doesn't matter where the child is, they will both get a notification if the child tries to download an app. So if mum doesn't pick it up, dad will. Also, if they're at a friend's house and they log on to someone else's Wi-Fi, that will also give you a notification to tell you. So Google Family Link is probably one of the best apps that we advise. And hang on, I don't know, excuse me, I don't know Android as well as I know Apple, but I have gone on and researched this for you guys. So on Android, you can go into the Google Play Store, tap the profile icon in the top right, tap settings, then go into the family section for parental control, toggle the parental control to on, create a PIN and then tap OK, confirm the PIN. Then you can tap and access games that your children are playing on the devices. You can then set an age limit for the child, so i.e. 10, 11, 12. You can save the apps. Then you need to save that app, save that control so that it doesn't change. You can also stop the auto updates by opening the Play Store, tapping the profile, again go into settings, tap the auto update and toggle that on so that the auto updates is then off, and then tap done. Am I saying that clear enough, Donna, or am I talking too fast?
Sorry, Lady, you've got a question about it in the comments. Shell Bell is asking if it has to be accepted onto the kid's device.
What's that, Google Family Link?
Yeah.
Yes. So you take the child's device and you do it, yeah. So, but it works very, very well. And it's always the one, if I have to contact schools, lots of different safeguarding umbrella, that will always be the app that I advise people to have. But like I've just said, with what I've just said, you can actually lock down your child's device quite well without it. Like I said, you can change the apps, you can change the games, you can change the age limit. So all of that is available on your child's device for you.
You also have another question. Richard Man is asking if that also covers YouTube.
Yes.
Can I just point out, I did forget to mention earlier that our lovely Hayley is also an ex-hunter, ex-predator hunter, and she's very knowledgeable, hence why she's up here with us. I did forget, sorry Hayley.
Yes, so Google Family Link will cover any app that your child tries to download, whether it's a children's app or an adult app. It will email you and ping you and tell you that your child is trying to download it, no matter where they are. And you have to give permission as to whether to download it or not. And that includes YouTube and any other app.
Sorry, Lenny, another question. So I'm just trying to catch the questions in the comments.
Thank you,
so sorry. Again from Shell Bell. What if it's a vulnerable adult, 23, with ADHD that won't let you?
If you can't get your hands on the device, you're going to struggle. My advice as a parent would be wait till she's asleep and try and get your hands on it, or tell her that you need to check something that's on the device. I would find a way of getting the device and popping it on without her knowing. That's a parent's point of view, not a safeguarder's point of view. I would do whatever it takes to get it on there. Shell Bell, if you would like to have a personal conversation with me on this, and I can probably help guide you through it, but feel free to message me and we can do a call and I can try and help you find a way to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, she said she would appreciate that. No
problem. I can do a call with you and we can talk about it. And I can also, I am trying to be able to speak to the young person, if that would help me speaking to them personally for you, with you present. If that may help, then I'm more than happy to do that as well.
I think what I will do is I will play this back once it's re-uploaded by the Observer. I will search and go through the settings that you've just mentioned, Lenny, and I will get that put into a video or posters or something so that it's easier. You know, a lot of people find it hard to kind of take it in, whereas if they see it there in black and white written down step by step, it might be a lot easier. So I'll do that.
Agreed, yeah. But anybody who's in this live that, you know, needs advice, please don't hesitate to contact us. Myself, Donna, we will sit on the phone with you and help you do this. It's not something you need to be able to take in tonight and remember. We are more than happy to sit there with any parent, guardian, and help you be able to achieve the best. What Cobra calls is layering a child's device, because what we find is if you layer it with one setting, a child can get through it. If you're layering it with 2 and 3, you're still in with a chance of them getting through it. But if you're layering it with 5 different settings, the child's going to struggle to get through 5 settings to get on to do stuff that, you know, you really don't want them doing. So it's about layering a child's device to the best that we can. So if they do get through one setting, they're not going to get through any other.
Sorry, Lenny, you've got another couple of questions coming in. So Jodie's asking, can you do it for multiple kids or do you have to do it individually?
Yes, you can do it for multiple kids.
Sorry, I'm just trying to catch all the... a lizard man is asking, can you block location access on the app?
Yes. Yes, and 360 is... Linda, are you talking about 360? Life 360? If you are, then yes, again, that's another recommended app that we use.
Yeah, I've got Life 360 for my children. I've even got Life 360 on my 32-year-old daughter.
Yeah, we have it as a family.
Yeah.
Jodie, yeah, we can do that for you. Jodie, Donna, sorry. Jodie was just asking if we can talk her through the settings over the weekend.
Yeah, of course.
And I think I've kind of caught up with the questions that people were asking about the app. Sorry, Lenny.
No problem, I'm just going through these notes. There's so many that I've managed to do. So for the iPhone, guys, to restrict the built-in features, open settings, tap the screen time, tap content and privacy restriction, tap allowed apps. You may need to toggle that in the top left because it may be off, so you need to toggle. You may need to toggle that over. Enable or disable the apps you wish to appear. So each app that is on the child's device, you can disable or enable each one separately. So if you wanted them to be able to access Facebook because they're 13, then you can leave that one on, and any that you don't want them to be able to access, turn those off. And then just, save the setting after.
Sorry, Lenny, you've got another question. Katie is saying, my son has a phone, a laptop for schoolwork, a gaming laptop and an Xbox. Do I have to put them on each device or can she link them automatically?
I'm not sure on that one. Can I get back to you on that?
Do you want me to screenshot it and...
Yes, please.
Send it so you've got it. Perfect.
If you want to ask that question in my inbox, then I will certainly go and have a look for you.
I would think it would be better to do them all on the separate devices.
I think personally I would, even if it's not to. Just, again, it's another layer of security.
Yeah, I think I would, for my own personal peace of mind, I think I would do it on each separate device.
Sorry, Lenny, I'm just trying to catch all the questions while they're coming.
No, I appreciate it because I'm not looking, so it's great that you are. So restricting apps through Google Family Link, again, you can restrict them. You tap the horizontal lines on the top left, excuse me, select the child's account, tap manage, tap continue on the Google Play, to tap access and games, and again you can select the age limit for each app that is on the child's device. To restrict the game centre, tap settings, go into the content privacy and restrictions settings, toggle restrictions on the top left to on, and then go into the game centre. Choose and allow or disallow any games that you want them to have, and you can set them to, you can also allow a specific app and then maybe just set it to friends if that's what you want to do. So not only can you set the game limit, you can also set it all to friends so that they can't access anything else.
Hi guys. So if your kids have an Xbox or a PS4 or a PS5 or 4, whatever, if you go into Epic Games, you can request for parent settings on your Epic Games account, and it sends every message through that your child sends to your account, because I have it with my son. So you can see who's added your child, what messages are being sent, all of that. So you can monitor, delete and add anybody that you want to be added to their Epic Games account.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Jane.
Yeah, and I just want to let you know as well, as all the other parents, I don't know if you know this as well, is if your children have Snapchat and Instagram or Facebook, you can add their accounts to your account. So if when you sign them up, if you get their login details and their password, you can add it to your account, and you can log into their accounts anytime. Like, it doesn't matter if they're logged in, it doesn't log them out, but you can read all of their messages as well, like anything that they're viewing or seeing on their Snapchats, Facebook, Instagram, you can see all of that as well.
I think I do. Yeah, I've got my my sons on mine as well. That's what I do. He doesn't know that, but that's what I do.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of parents know this, because I've said it to a few friends of mine and they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, you can add it. I've got my son and my daughters added to my account, and every day I go through it and check who they're talking to and delete anyone that I think suspicious. I turn off their location. So no one can see where they are. And I think it's really important that if you can access their Snap accounts, that you can turn off their location settings. Because I don't know if any parents, because I didn't know this until a year ago, but if on Snapchat, if their location is on, it gives you your exact address to the point.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, and it goes to your Google. It shows your house and everything. It's wild. So I just want to let people know, and parents, just go into your child's Snapchat, get their their details and their password, and add it to your account. And also, if you're with TalkTalk or Sky, sorry to talk a lot. If you're with TalkTalk or Sky, there is parental settings on there. So I have a thing called Eero, which is ERRO on my TalkTalk account, and I can turn off my internet. I can even restrict what my child sees by setting settings. And even if they use their data on their things, that even if they're connected to the Wi-Fi, it even restricts their data to what they can see, because they're still technically connected to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think we went through that last time, ladies, being able to restrict the Wi-Fi.
Massive
Yeah.
well done to you, though, Jane. I mean, that is
Well done,
amazing. Everything that you've put in place for your children, that is fantastic. Massive well done to you.
And thank
No,
you
that's
for coming up to share that awareness as well.
Yeah.
Jane, I've got a question actually. Now
Yeah.
that you brought it from a different setting.
Yeah, go, babe.
So, if we've turned the location off on the actual device,
Yeah.
would that affect the Snapchat then? Because I know other live apps.
So Snapchat has a different location device to your settings device. So you need to go onto their Snapchat device to deactivate the Snapchat device. It's wild, it is, because I tested. So I've got a child who's 19. I've got two children who are 11 and 12. So my daughter who's 19, she can do what she wants because she pays her own phone bill or whatever, but I still check her Snapchat is still on my phone. But yeah, what you said. So her Snapchat location is on, but my 11 and 12-year-olds are off due to my thing, but hers are only off is because she pays her own phone bill, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So she would need to, so if I'm paying my kids' phone bills because it's connected to my Wi-Fi and because my children's phone bills are through my phone bill account, if that makes sense, through TalkTalk. So it all comes through there, but you need to go onto their Snapchat device to turn off put it on ghost location, it's called. So that's what you need to do with their Snapchat.
That's really interesting that even though we can layer the child's actual device with, making sure that location is off. I mean, I knew that you could see it on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it's like that on many, many live apps, if I'm honest, not just Snapchat.
Yeah.
A lot of the time when we're looking for children, that's how we find them, because obviously it does take you to the exact location of the child.
Scary, isn't it?
This is why I think
Shows their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I think it's so important that in each app the parents know what settings to go in and to turn off. And this is why this awareness, and this advice is so important, because a lot of people think just because they've gone into their phone settings and turned the location off that they're safe and no one can see the location. But obviously,
do you know what I think it is? Snapchat. So I think Facebook and Instagram, from what I've gathered from my daughter, is it doesn't give you a direct location, whereas Snapchat is like Google Maps.
Snapchat is a nightmare.
Yeah,
It's
so Instagram
with all the
and
disappearing messages and stuff.
But did you know that you can access? So if you've got your children's, this is a sneaky one, and I hope there's no kids in here. So if you've got your children's Snapchat on your phone, you can turn it all off, but you can put it on ghost mode. So if you go to your profile and go to the three dots at the top, do you know on Snapchat where you click on the child's profile, or like your profile, and you click on the three dots at the top? If you scroll down to settings, you can go to ghost mode on like our devices, which won't show them that you've changed the settings, if that makes sense.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have a look. I'm gonna look into this.
Yeah, so have a look. Yeah, because
Hayley, Hayley, can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Can you just double check whether Google Family Link would still allow the child to have the Snapchat location on? Because
Yeah, 2 seconds and I'll just quickly check it in for you.
thank you.
because I have something called Penguin. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's like you can see where your child is to the exact location.
Yeah.
So I have that for my kids, and it shows, because my daughter walks home from school with her phone. So I literally, when she gets on the bus, it shows me her on the bus and everything. But on her Snapchat, it won't show that. It will just show when she gets off at the location and where the location she was at, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to check whether Google Family Link, because what you're saying makes complete sense, and I wasn't aware, even what I do, that the location would be on if we turned it off on the
Yeah.
child's device.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to know if that Google Family Link does the same thing, because otherwise that's something that we need to be looking at separately to what
Also,
we do.
did you know you can?
Sorry, Hayley.
It does actually say Family Link can manage app permissions and app limits, but it doesn't directly control Snapchat's location sharing settings. Snapchat has its own location sharing controls, including ghost mode, which would need to be turned off via Snapchat.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's really good knowledge tonight. Thank you, Jane.
No, that's fine, darling. And did you know as well? I don't know if you know this, but you can download Snapchat messages.
Yes.
Yeah, you did know that. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I learned that the hard way, and now I do that regularly because, like I said, I learned that the hard way.
That's something we learn as decoys, not safeguarders. But any decoy would, we would know,
And I really urge any parents, like the 183 people that are in here, to go onto your children's devices and to add their Snapchat to their phones, because honestly it has been a godsend. And I know people don't want to see what their kids are up to, some may, or whatever, but like it is honestly a godsend, because the amount of stuff I've intercepted and had to report and ring the school about has been, if I hadn't have done that, then God knows what would have happened.
Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing all that information. That's been very, very useful. Could you mind even just emailing or messaging, should I say, Cobra or even our Donna, just those details again, and that's maybe something that we can make like a post about.
Yeah, about everything that I've said.
Yeah, that would be really useful.
Yeah, of course, darling. I don't mind. Yeah, because I think I said it to the Observer the other day when you had another life, and this is really this is something that I'm really passionate about, because since I've learned about all this stuff, and it's only been due to my 19-year-old that I've actually learned all of this stuff, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a Scooby-Doo about what was going on in my kids' lives. And even with, and I say it again, Talk and Sky, there's a thing called Eero, ERRO, and I think my internet is like £29 a month. And with that, you get this app where you can set, like, you can turn the internet off at 10 o'clock, turn it on at 6 o'clock. You can block devices, you can block internet, you can block YouTube, you can block Snap, you can block any devices on it. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really important that parents do that and they're very aware of what's going on, because I think very many people think it's not going to happen to my child, it's not going to happen to my child, but it does happen to children.
It absolutely does.
Yeah,
I think the youngest we've safeguarded in the den, which is really, really traumatizing, was she was 6.
Yeah, that's horrific.
You know, she was 6 years old. She was on a live app streaming to thousands of people.
No, that's horrific.
So I think she was the youngest.
No, that's disgusting. And I think if your children are on TikTok, and if you have got a younger child on TikTok, make yourself a mod on their account and make their account accessible to you, so it's on your account as well. And turn off, like, people don't understand on TikTok, you can turn off message requests, you can turn off friends requests, you can turn off everything. And I just think that people think that all these things happen and like, oh my God, why did this happen to me? Mate, look into your stuff. No, I'm not blaming anyone, do you know what I mean? But there is things that you can do. Like, there is things that you can do. And I think, like I said, I learnt the hard way with this. And this is why I've had to learn about all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think until you're a 6-year-old, you wouldn't even begin to even think that would happen. But what actually happened there was the parent had got a new device, and they'd given their old device to the child.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, what they hadn't done was clear the device and reset it. So when the child had a pop-up come up for a specific app, she clicked the pop-up and it used the parent's details to log the child onto the app. And she stood there and she was just like, oh, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Well, of course, then they see the numbers going up into the thousands and
Yeah.
they're watching them. Thankfully, when in some respects, it can be a good thing for us, because if it's been logged in through the parent's account, then it's a lot easier for us to track the parent than it would be a 6-year-old child. But my advice is, I mean, a lot of parents give their children their spare devices when they get new ones. Please, please, please reset the device, because if you don't, your login details are over 18s and they are getting on anything.
And
Absolutely
remember,
anything.
also parents, do you know, if your kids get a new iPhone or an Android, set it to their age limit. Do not set it to 8, do not change their birthdays. My daughter gets the hump, she's 11. Do not set it to please your child. Set it to the child's actual age, because you are safeguarding them against a million things. Like, even games and stuff, like, it is wild, the stuff that my daughter was downloading before she got a new phone. Set it to a thing, because on an iPhone you have something called a family share thing, and you add your children to that, and you can, so if my daughter downloads a game, I then have to approve that game or approve an app or approve anything. So it's like even Netflix, Disney Plus, any game that she does, I have to approve that. So if you're approving stuff and your child is under the age that the app is asking you to approve it for, then that should be a red flag to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be downloading anything for your child that they're asking you to approve for.
Something else that's just came into play, a new law came in April 2025. This is well worth parents knowing. I think this is the first app to my knowledge that has done this. So WhatsApp is obviously a 16. You're not allowed on WhatsApp unless you're 16. But the new law that came into play in April 2025 is that parents are now responsible for their children using WhatsApp, and can now be charged if anything happens on WhatsApp to that child. So that WhatsApp's the first one to come into line, to my knowledge. But my guess is a lot of apps will start to follow suit. So you can actually now legally be charged if you're allowing your child to have WhatsApp under 16 and any inappropriate material taking place. Now,
Have any of you got kids that are WhatsApp, like in high school and stuff like that? Have you lot ever seen any of these WhatsApp groups?
I was just going to bring that to the attention. So
Vile.
WhatsApp for group chats is horrific.
Yeah.
But just now be aware that you are now responsible as a parent to keep your child safe online on that app. Now, fingers crossed it will come across the board, because I think that would be a really good asset to any app. But yes, so that came into play in April 2025.
Okay, that's good, because honestly, the amount of stuff that I've seen on WhatsApp, not through my kids, but through my eldest 19, is horrific. Like, she'll get added to a group that's got 12,000 people in it, and I'm like, why are you in a group with that many people? And she's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because I've checked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I check all these things, and like, I'm a bit sneaky. Like, I downloaded her number. I won't even, it's
As a
insane.
parent, we do what we have to do.
Yeah, it's insane. And I'm disgusted at some of these things. And I've told my daughter, my younger daughter, she's a bit more savvy, and she'll be go, I've been added to something, and she's like, I've removed myself from that group. And I'm like, good, that's what you need to do. You don't have to be involved in. If anyone ever says you have to be in this, remove yourself. Like, don't, like, please tell your children to take responsibility for how they feel as well. Like, don't, like, make sure your children know if something doesn't feel right, they don't have to feel a part of it. Like, it's yeah.
It's about having that open dialogue with your children.
Yeah, just what I was going to say. This is what we try and push out there. You need to make your children aware of what is right and what's wrong. No one should tell you to keep secrets. No one should ask you to do anything that you know is wrong if anyone does, that they need to know that they can come to you as a parent, guardian, you know, but it's keeping that open communication and letting them know of the dangers out there, because a lot of people don't, and so they don't know that they can come to you as a parent, so they just take it all on, and then they get groomed to believe that what they are being asked to do is okay when it's really not. Whereas if you've had that conversation previously with the children and you've explained to them that no one should be asking you to do ABC, then they know that as soon as someone does, they can come to you.
Yeah.
So we've just had a few questions come in about what we've been discussing. So I'll just quickly run through them if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Man like Donna has asked, with Family Link on an iPhone, how do you stop them from being able to opt out at 13?
So you have control. You set the link to 18.
Yeah.
And you keep control until they're 18.
Yeah.
Again, if you download the app and you're not sure what you're doing and you're not sure how to do it, just contact us.
Yeah.
We will sit with you and make sure that all the settings are what you want them to be.
Yeah.
So yes, you just set it to 18. Can I just run through the App Store in the iPhones as well, please? The iTunes purchases, because I know a lot of children get bought iTunes vouchers for birthdays and Christmas and things. So
Someone's just asked that, how can I tell if my kid has hidden an app away from me? That might be
right, okay, so you can go into the App Store on your child's device, and whether the app is still on the phone or whether they've deleted the app from the phone, it will tell you every app your child has downloaded, because it's going through the Play Store. So just go into the Play Store and it will give you a list of apps that your child's downloaded. I will say a lot of children do download apps without our knowledge, and if for whatever reason they are being groomed online, the PDFs will tell the children to delete the app once they've finished talking to them, and then but the app doesn't completely disappear when they delete it. So they just re-upload it every time they're speaking to the PDF, and believe me, that's daily.
Yeah.
But go into the Google Play Store on your child's device and you will see every single app that they have downloaded. And if you're going through the apps on their phone and you're noticing ones that are missing from the screens, then you're guaranteed that they know that they shouldn't be having those.
Yeah.
A lot of the live apps that we monitor are 18 plus, but they're, in my opinion, they're aimed at children. So BIGO has a little dinosaur, and we had a parent that thought her child was playing a dinosaur game, because that is exactly what it looks like. She's seen the app on her child's device, but it just looks like a dinosaur game that she was playing. The parent was horrified. Likey is a pink heart, which again is aimed at children. And the GIFs on these apps are very similar to what you get on here, like princess castles, unicorns, Lamborghinis. Well, of course, these children want these GIFs. They don't understand that there's money in these GIFs. An example is, they'll ask the child to do something that is hurting themselves, and the child wants the princess castle, so they'll do it. Well, that princess castle's worth £150, but the child doesn't know that. So any money that child makes on that app in a certain specific time goes back to the app. So it never gets exchanged for the profit that the child's done. It goes back to the app. So the apps are making thousands and thousands and thousands on children that are just looking for a flash across the screen, and they're getting that. But unfortunately, when I said there was a predator that spent £150,000, we picked him up, and Elite went and picked him up for us because it was her area. And this was a guy that lived with his parents, in the back bedroom. You wouldn't think he had a penny to his name, but over time he'd spent £150,000. Yeah, and we get that over and over and over again.
Do you know what's disgusting? Yeah, it's like, this is totally not to do with apps and stuff, but when my mum lived in a over 50s housing association, we had a call from the police one day, and they were like, "We need to bring you in for questioning." And I was like, "Why?" They were like, "Because you've got kids," and we had to go in and be questioned and stuff, and they were like, has anyone ever approached your kids, da 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 da. And it turned out one of the residents there that was 70 years old was a paedophile, pet, whatever they're called, and he was on like a order and stuff like that. But the owners of the place knew that he was one of them, and didn't bother telling my mum or any of the other 50 residents that were living there. And it's really scary because anyone can be one of these people. It can be your next door neighbour, it can be the shopkeeper, it can be anybody. And I think you can never tell who's going to be one of these people.
I think it's important to say as well, as parents, when our children are outside playing or we are walking down the street with them, you know, we're holding their hands. We're constantly, as parents, looking around to keep our children safe. But what we're not doing as parents is doing that in the house. Now, outside, that you've got, I don't know, a certain amount of people walking around, but online you have thousands and thousands. And if you're not trying to do your best to protect them, you are opening your door to thousands of people that are going into your child's bedroom.
Well said.
They're going into your child's safe space, thousands of them, because the second that child goes live on a live app, there's thousands of strangers in that child's bedroom, in their safe space, getting them to hurt themselves in their own beds. And I think that's really important. I know that sounds really brutal, but that is what Cobra deal with daily. And, you know, we do our best to try and stop that from happening, because once that child's safe space has been invaded, how do we then bring them back from that mentally? How do we bring them back from their safe space being invaded by thousands of people?
Exactly, and that's why I always say abuse is not always physical, it's the mental abuse that lives with you forever.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, again, I'll go back to it, Donna, on the live apps, it is physical, because they're getting these children to hurt themselves. You know, they are getting these children to hurt themselves.
Yeah, I get that. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, do they? And they just think, oh, it's just online. They're not going to be hurt physically.
Yeah.
There was a guy online last week, the girls will tell you, and he's there and he's got his young daughter on there. She's on the live. She's no older than 8 years old. So I just jumped in the live and I said, it's not a good idea. Can you take her off the live, please? She shouldn't be on the live under the age of 18. And he said, why? What difference does it make? And I said, there could be Rungans out there watching her. And he said, so what they're going to do? And I said, so it's okay for a dirty old git to be getting off on your daughter while you display her online? I ended up being blocked and being called a weirdo, so I posted him out there, obviously. But it's like, this is the mentality of a lot of people.
It is. And I mean, let's go on to the fact that following from what you've just said, Donna, AI images.
Yes, that is a massive thing now. And
AI images is huge. We are coming up over and over again as Cobra to AI images being found on their devices, you know, the PDFs devices.
Yes.
And, you know, they are illegal, and you can get charged for an AI image. It's called a pseudo image. So any parent that is putting their child on screen is taking the risk of that being made into an AI image. So even on your Facebooks and things like that, be really careful about what you're posting, because it can be taken and it can be changed, and it happens all the time. We had, again, another live app, and When we went into it, there was over 150 images and video, some AI images and videos of children. And it was so bad. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. You can hear it in my voice as I talk about it. It was 2 o'clock in the morning and I hit the floor. I was on my knees and I rang Jay, and we'd spoken to the police and taken advice on what to do. And poor Jay had to get up out of bed and go in and get all the evidence for the police on that one. And a lot of that was AI images that had been put on babies, and it was horrific.
It's shocking. It's shocking what they can do. No one wants to see their child's image in some of the predicaments that these videos, the children are in these videos. And, you know, yes, they're pseudo images, but my God, when you've seen them, that is an image that will never, ever leave your imagination again. Never leave your mind again. It's like, it's so shocking, and people need to realise all they need is a photograph of your child's face, a screenshot of your child on a live, a screenshot from your child in a post that you've put on your social media.
Sorry, someone's just asked a really good question in the comments. I think this goes back to when you were talking about the dinosaur and how the parents thought it was just a kids app.
Yep.
Terry is asking, is there a list anywhere we can find out what apps are disguised as kids ones?
That's a really difficult one, because if I sit here and tell you there's over 2,000 live apps, I'm not joking when I say there's over 2,000 live apps.
Yeah, and they are disguised.
And they are all disguised. Even as a team that's run safeguarding in the background for 5 years, I can't sit here and tell you all of the apps. It would be physically impossible. Also, within sort of a year of these apps opening, they change names. So as soon as they come under scrutiny, we had Facecast that was really bad. That came under scrutiny. It then changed its name to Buzzcast. So the problem we've got is not only are we trying to find these apps, but they're changing constantly. So if you've looked at Facecast and thought that doesn't look too childlike, a year later it may do. So unfortunately, you've got to look at your kid's device. And, you know, the calculator, that's a good one to let you know about. So there's a calculator one, and it looks like a calculator on the child's device, but it's actually an app where they can hide apps. So you press the calculator and there's lots of different apps that the children have hidden within this calculator. But to a parent looking at a screen, it's a calculator, but it's not. That's the one that I know that a lot of them are using to tell the kids where to hide stuff. But so unfortunately, no, there isn't a list. Statistics say a child can be groomed online in 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you it's 5. Literally 5. 5 minutes, and it can be game over, and your child's damaged for life. That is no joke. That is brutal, but it's total honesty, and Donna and Kaylee would back me on that.
100%. Like it can start from like even the shortest time is like 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and you know they just continue and continue. There's no stopping them. But yeah, as Cobra said, just please, if you don't know about the app, the best thing to do is Google it and get to know the app, or Wake Up Wednesday. But sorry, there's another wee question that's popped up about Family Link. Lizardman is asking, you have to pay to have Family Link. Is that correct?
No, there is a free version. So there is there is a paid version that gives you more access to different things, but I don't feel you need to have the paid version. You can have the free version.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I've caught up. Someone was also asking earlier the apps that we're discussing, although we're talking them through how to do the settings, if we could do like a video of doing it so that they can.
Yeah, I'm more than happy. Donna's going to do some posters. I'm sure our Tricky will do some posters for Cobra as well. And I will sit and do a video and pop it on the pinned post on Cobra's page.
So the fact freak has just said that in his link tree there's a YouTube video showing you how to set up Family Link.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, amazing. Thank you, Fact Freak.
Thank you.
Right, let me go through this app store
Sorry,
before I
Lily.
forget. It's only because if I forget, my brain, yeah. So to restrict the app store, the iTunes was the one that bothers me more. And that's because a lot, especially teens, a lot of them are asking for iTunes vouchers for their games for birthdays and Christmas, and people are buying them £40 worth of iTunes vouchers, which to me is seriously dangerous. I understand for some teens, the games that they play on PlayStation, Xbox, what have you, they do need to have the added extras. But just let me pop you through this. So if they have got an iTunes voucher, they have to come to you for you to allow them to access the voucher and then get what they want with you and then turn it back off. So to restrict the App Store and the iTunes purchases, go into settings, open and tap the screen, go into control privacy restrictions, tap the App Store and iTunes purchases, select allow or don't allow per feature. So when they get a voucher, you can allow it, sit there with them, allow them to get what they need, and then turn it back off. And you can also lock these purchases down with a password. So if they only spend £20, then they've got to come back to you when they do want to spend the other £20 because it's passworded and they can't spend it without your permission. I just wanted to remember to get that one in. Also, most search engines on Google, all the rest of it, you can actually lock those down as well. Google, Bing, Yahoo. Go into the search engine, go into the search settings and activate them. So you can lock that down. So if they do go onto Google or any other search engine searching something, they can't get into it. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Because I think that's important. Obviously, with them, when the kids start to research stuff, it can go a bit skew, can't it? So yeah, it's important to know that you can actually, it's at the side. If it was Google at the side where you've got the 9 little boxes, you go into settings on there and you change the settings. And again, that stops them being able to access anything that you don't want them to. Is there any other questions, guys? Because I think I've covered most of what I needed to. I don't know if Donna's got anything else to add.
No, I just think that we need to not try and put everything on shutting the apps down and everything. As parents, as safeguarders, we also need to physically get the devices and check them, click on things, look for ourselves, go through friends lists, go through messages and check to see if there's anything inappropriate in them and whatever. It's a matter of taking the time out and putting the time and the effort into making sure that these children are safe. Yes, we need to put these things in place, but it is also our duty as carers, safeguarders, parents, guardians, whatever, that we need to physically go through the devices and check messages. Also keep an open communication with your children.
Yeah, and can I just point out, I just seen a comment there saying that they thought they had locked their kids' device properly down, but obviously not. This is why we do the live, just to help educate parents on stuff they can look into, like stuff they might not be aware of their children's device. We're here to help educate. So although you've locked it down as best as you thought you could, this is why we're doing it. So it can help you as well.
Yeah, it's not about parents not knowing, it's about parents learning.
Yeah.
None of us knew any of this. It's not like we knew this 10 years ago. We didn't. Unfortunately, with what we do and what we've seen, we've learned over time how to do the best protection that we can. And, 10 years ago when we started this, it was all about awareness and making people aware of who's on your street and who lives next door and, what happens online. I feel, and I'm sure others would agree, that, we started this movement to do that, and we've achieved that. So many more people now understand, what's going on online and what their children are going through and the risks to the children. So now it's more about making sure that parents know how to protect. The awareness for the PDFs is out there. People now have a better understanding of, what happens online to their children. So now it's about educating and giving anything that we've learned over the time over to you guys, so that you can now have a better access on and knowledge of how to keep your child safe.
100%, yeah. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what the whole thing is. And I know sometimes I can come across as a bit, but it's the frustration, it's the passion that I've got for protecting children, and if I can just save one person if there's just one parent on here that goes into the children's devices and checks the device and spots something minor that may lead to something major, and they can nip it in the bud, then that's my work done. That, fantastic.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, isn't it? It's it's keeping children safe. I think, you can get like that, Donna, whereas I can get quite dark with what we do because of what I see.
Yeah.
I can become quite dark when I'm talking to people, and I have to remember that, what I do and the girls do in the den is traumatic, and
yes,
trying to downplay that without taking it dark is really hard for me, because that if you guys knew what we see.
Yeah, if you'd see, it's when you've seen certain things, and you know, and I'm going to go about this, this that's been passed this week about this castration thing for the PDFs and whatever. I'm sorry, but the problem is in the mind. It's not in their appendage.
Agreed.
The problem is in their mind. So, okay, the appendage doesn't work. How many times have we been online and predators have sent images of appendages that don't work, but they're still sending them? Mm-hmm. They've still got hands. They've still got their brains. Their brains still work the same. So, to me, it's not going to solve anything. Yes, it may solve... how can I explain this? Physical full-on attacks
from that person.
Yes, but it doesn't stop abuse on the whole.
No, it really doesn't.
They can still abuse.
It really doesn't. And again, we go back to the den. They're not, when they get these children hurting themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, this isn't going to help that.
And this is where I say it's not in that appendage, it's in their mind, it's in their brains, it's their brains that are chemically messed up. And no, stopping that from working down there is not going to stop their brain from working that way up there.
No.
So, and that's my point. That's my view on it. To me personally, that isn't going to change anything. Yeah, mine, only minor. So we still need to be doing what we're doing. Everybody needs to be on it. We need to keep our children safe. We need to put the measures in place, and we need to educate people on how to do it.
Absolutely.
Someone in the comments has just said, "If in doubt, check it out."
I like that.
So absolutely, if in doubt, check it out. And I know someone else asked. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the comments. If we spot something we are not sure of, come and message one of you and ask. And I said to them, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or if you come across something online, children, what have you, do not hesitate but to send them over, because the den will safeguard. We've stayed up 36, 48 hours, no sleep, to track a child and safeguard them, and we will. So if you do come across children that you're worried about, please just send them our way. Even if the parents are there and you know, you're thinking that parent's not safeguarding that child, pass it over. There's other avenues that we can use to safeguard that child. It doesn't have to go through the parent. So don't hesitate to send anything over that you're concerned about or worried about.
And
We
if
will
you-
always do our best.
And I am a massive, massive advocate about for keeping an open communication with the children. No matter how young, there's ways and means of sitting with them. I've got my daughter is a vulnerable adult. She's on the she's autistic, and you know, I have to speak to her in a different manner. We all know our children. We know how we can get things across to them, and we need to make them aware of, you know, what can happen and what to do if they feel that someone is being inappropriate towards them in any way, shape or form, whether it be bullying or on, you know, predators, grooming, whatever. They need to know that they shouldn't be ever be told to delete the messages. If they're told to delete messages online, then there's obviously a reason why that person's telling them to do it. They've done something wrong, so they should come and tell a parent. No one should ever tell them to show any part and send any photographs whatsoever, let alone any intimate parts. Just make them aware of the dangers out there, not in a way that it's going to scare them, but in a way that they know that if someone does something, says something, or sends you something that you think that is wrong, you can come to me.
Yeah. It's about getting your children as well, for them to share that.
About the age appropriate, isn't it, conversations? Because obviously, you know, there's children as young as 6, 7, 8 with devices. So having that age appropriate conversation. One of the things that we use for younger children, we discussed this last time, is the pants song, which gives you the red, green and amber areas of the body. So if it's a red area, then the children know that's the wrong area. So if someone's asking them to show that or touch that or what have you, then they know that that's wrong. It's a song, and I did it with a family member, and he's 7, and we were all singing it because he kept going around the house singing it after.
That is in that folder that I showed earlier.
Last time we played it, it was the first time that I had heard it as well, and I was singing along to it.
Which is good because it's quite catchy and it sticks in the children's minds.
It is.
But when you get to the teens, then obviously that doesn't work. But at that age, you've got better communication, as Donna said, and it's about sitting down and, you know, allowing them to have an app, and then watching them with that app and making sure they are coming to you. WhatsApp's quite a good one for that, although I explained earlier that there's more, you know, there's more laws around it. WhatsApp is one that a lot of the children use. So if they're being added to group chats and they're showing you they're being added to group chats, okay, perhaps at 14 you can have Facebook because you're showing me you're being responsible with this app. Now we can allow you to have another app.
Sorry, Emma's Family Life, the pants song, it can be found on YouTube. I think you just type in the pants song, don't you, and it comes up.
Yeah.
And also just about talking about the apps and what apps to use. If you have a look at Wake Up Wednesday on Facebook, they do posts and it tells you about the app, what the app is, how it works, and then at the bottom it also gives you parents' guides. So it's Wake Up Wednesday on Facebook. It's a really good, really good. Oh, thank you, Observer. It's a really good resource. That's the word. Sorry. To look into, and it only takes 2 minutes, and they share amazing stuff. So it's Wake Up Wednesday on Facebook. And so man like Donna, she's just said that she's giving us all a follow in case she gets in a muddle with her sun setting. That is absolutely fine. And that's what we're here for, here to help.
And Jay Hunter has just said, sadly, there's never going to be enough online teams to be able to cope with how many preds are online. And I can back that statement up 1,000,000%, because there isn't. But all I can say is, from myself, total 1,000,000% massive respect to every single decoy that is online in place of what could be a real child. You are all absolutely amazing, and I admire and respect every single one of you. And the safeguarders, the same, absolutely amazing. You are Earth Angels, 1,000,000%.
Decoys have a really hard job.
They really do.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again, if these monsters can groom an adult, and I'm telling you they can, I've had decoys that have been groomed as the adult, although they're obviously, I like to say acting, they're acting as a child, it does come into your adult brain as well. And I've had decoys that I've had to pull off for 48 hours because they're being groomed. So it's literally, right, pull back. After 48 hours, they'll come back to you and they'll go, oh my God, I see it. I can see what he's done. And if they can do that to an adult, then what are they doing to our children?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, like, I decoyed for 8 months, and let me tell you, it is also physically and mentally exhausting. And that's how I kind of took a step back from the decoy and did the safeguarding. So yeah, like Donna and that said, a massive respect to the decoys that are still, doing it.
Not everyone can do it. I mean,
No.
I had personally loads that they were adamant that they could do it. Yes, it's fine, and they start the training, and they're 2 or 3 days into the training, and they're like, and I didn't realise all this was involved. I'm sorry, it's not for me. Or they'll go through the training and then they'll decoy for a week, and they're like, I can't get it out of my head what's being said to what people believe of these children. It's just so unreal, and it's affecting me mentally, and it does.
It does.
Even as a fully working decoy and someone who's been doing it for a while, there still get times where you can't sleep because it's going over and over and over in your head, and you just can't get. And some get obsessed. And what I have to say to them is, and it's really hard to do, you have to put yourself into the mindset of the child and try not to think about the children that this person's got who's talking to you and what could be happening with them, and that you need to focus on getting the evidence that is needed to be able to stop this person in the tracks.
I think that's a really good point, Donna, because the decoy, excuse me, you're not just spending 4 or 5 hours a night talking to a monster. It's the decoy's job to collate all the evidence and that evidence has to be spot on.
Yeah.
This is going to the police, it's going to the prosecution, and if it's not spot on, you're not getting the charges. So you're not just spending 5 hours speaking to monsters, you're collating. After you've done that, it's 11 o'clock at night, you're then up for 3 hours making sure that all the evidence from that evening's chat is in place, correctly done, correctly numbered, correctly filed, and all of that comes down to the decoy. And you spend hours and hours. I can't even tell you the amount of time decoys spend. I can't, because it's impossible to actually put a limit on the poor decoys on what they do. It's amazing. It's amazing what they do, and that we've got some decoys out there that have been around 4 or 5 years, and they're still here and they're still doing it night after night. Yeah. Night after night, they put themselves through it. They're
very, very special people. Very special people.
Yeah, they are. Is there any other questions, guys, that we've missed, or you want us to go back over?
Haven't seen any come through. Haven't seen any come through at all. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that's not a question, sorry. Haven't seen any come through. If you do think of a question though that we haven't covered, and when the live ends and you do feel like you want to ask it, then certainly just message.
Yeah, over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to focus on getting posts out there. I'm going to hold off with my popping the predators on because I can catch up with that at any time. And I'm going to focus on getting as much information as I can put into posters and videos for advice on how to keep children safe on devices. And
Yeah, we will as well.
yeah, I'm definitely going to focus on that for a couple of weeks and get a file together on all that and break it down, because I know that what I've been doing the last couple of days is the Wake Up Wednesday ones. They're really hard to
Sorry,
read.
Donna, 1 second. Our Saz is at work. Yes, Saz, the Observer will pop it onto YouTube and I'll pass it over to you. I'm sorry, Donna.
Yeah, the Wake Up Wednesday ones, what I've done is I've been screenshotting and breaking them down into the separate little boxes and putting them in videos so they're easier for people to read and understand.
Good idea.
Because they're really hard to read if you see them as a whole, because the writing is so tiny.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do all of those. I'll finish off doing all of those, and then I am going to actively Google my backside off, getting as much information to help to lock down devices and safeguard and etc. So
there's just a couple of questions that have come through. I think it's more like for the hunting side of things. So Emma's family life. Do you ever get fed up with all the work you do and the judge just slaps him on the wrist?
Absolutely.
And this is where awareness comes in. This is where exposure comes in for me.
Absolutely. It can take 5 years for a monster to get from the prosecution to being in court. So, yeah, absolutely. We get frustrated all the time. We do get some really good sentences, but we also get some really rubbish sentences. It's a gamble. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble worth doing. Even if they get a slap on the wrist, my way of thinking is they always get a SHOPO, which is a actual harm prevention order. They all get that, no matter what charges there are, or whether they get a slap on the wrist. When that happens, the way I think about it is if they get a 10-year SHOPO, then well after I'm gone and finished and I hang my boots up, they're still going to be on that register.
And it prevents them having contact with children.
Yeah. And for me, that means everything. So the SHOPO is really important. That's only my point of view as a safeguarder and a decoy, is once my boots are hung up, I know for the next 10 years, they are being monitored, they are being watched. If a child in their area gets hurt, they are going to be arrested and questioned about that. And for me, that's important. So, yeah just that's what I take from a lot of what we do.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for putting their faces out there and letting people know where they are and who they are.
Yes.
I know a lot of people don't agree with it, but if they've been charged, if they've been sentenced, then, which is a lot of what I put out now, because I've only been putting out pretty much the sentences. I do put the posters out from the hunters, from the hunting teams, just stating, that these people have been arrested and whatever. But a lot of what I put out of people that have been charged, they've been sentenced, they're on the sex offenders register or the SHOPO, and I just feel that people have a right to know who they are and where they are. That's my personal view.
Someone else has just asked a question, Shelbell. How can people put this to schools, even if they have family that it's happening to? Sorry to ask.
What does she mean by that?
I'm not too sure. Shelbell, do you want to maybe message Cobra? I'm not too sure if it's just a way that how you can only type so many stuff in the comments.
So Cobra, we do have a really good working relationship across the board, across the UK, with schools and police forces on the safeguarding side. The safeguarding side is completely different to the hunting side of what we do. When we call children into schools and, well, schools, social services, police, there is a safeguarding umbrella that we work under. And I will say that we have a really good working relationship across the board. We don't really have any issues when calling things in. You know, schools do take it on board. One of my family's schools actually asks me for, you know, the latest emojis that are being used by children. You know, if they need advice, they will come and ask. And that's the head teacher of the school. So that's really good. We've had people in the den that are teachers. You know, we've called the school to safeguard children, and they've called us back and asked if they can come and join the den. Like I said, everybody in the den, everybody in the community is DBS checked. Everybody, to my knowledge anyway, every team does that. So that's the first thing that we do. And the second thing is, in the den, you're not allowed to work the den until you're at least level 3 trained in child safeguarding, because of what we do and the professional bodies that we need to go to keep the children safe.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do work under the legal and the protocols of that safeguarding umbrella that every other agency uses, sort of the multi-agency. So we work under that most of the time.
Can we just reiterate to people, we have said this before, that if ever you do come across something that's on a child's device, don't ever think of continuing the chat yourself. Shut the device down, ring the police. Never ever continue to speak to these people or try and decoy. No one should ever be decoying without proper training, because there are so many do's and don'ts, stipulations and things that we have to abide by, that we can and can't do. If you do any of those things, you will never ever get charges brought against the person who has been messaging your child. So if you see anything inappropriate, never continue the conversation, end the conversation and report it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to back Donna up here, because a lot of people will say we're not professionally trained. Excuse me. No, we're not. Okay, we are not professionally trained to decoy. On the den side of things, we are professionally trained, but on the decoy side, we're not. But what we do have is 10 years and 8 years, you know, Donna, Kate, Hayley, myself, of speaking to the police over and over, speaking to prosecution, speaking to judges, and taking every single bit of advice that they give us on how to move forward in the correct manner. So everything that we do in training, we have taken advice from the police, judges, solicitors, the prosecution. You know, every single time they give us a new tool to use, we use it. And over time, I will say that the evidence collating is amazing. It is the highest of the high. You know, that it's at that quality, and that's what we expect.
And Jay's just made a good point too. The second that the predator knows the parents found out, the predator will remove all of that evidence as much as they possibly can. So as Donna said again, please, if you do find anything, do not take over the chat. Turn off the phone and call the police straight away.
And don't approach a hunting team. Turn the phone off and phone the police.
Yeah.
You know, we're all good at what we do, but at the end of the day, the police are the ones that can do a lot more than we can. So, you know, your first priority is always the police.
And sorry, just another wee quick question that's just came in there. From Yorkshire Mill. Are they on registers for life?
No. Some will. I think the lowest we've had, I don't know about you, Donna, but the lowest we've had is 5-year offenders, and the highest we've had is life. So it can go 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, I think minimum is 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it depends on the level of crime, I suppose. We worked with a lot of sections. So section 2, so example, section 2, 2001. So that'll be a specific section to a specific charge. And Donna's very like ourselves at Cobra. We don't go out on less than, 6, 7 charges. Because you'll put, go on.
Sorry, darling, can I just say, sorry to jump up because I've seen a comment about Roblox. Parents, you can add Roblox to your phone. So if your child has Roblox, you can add it to your phone and it won't affect their game on their tablet, on their phone, on their PlayStation, whatever. But you will be able to see any message that's been sent, any ads, anything. So you can add it to your phone as well. I don't know if parents know that, but you can add Roblox to your phone.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, it's just really sad that people don't know about this, and it makes me really sad that parents are out here like not knowing about these things. It's really sad.
So there's another question just came in about Roblox from Lizardman. I don't know Roblox that well, so I'm not confident in answering this. But if they have chat on, can you permanently turn it off from Roblox?
Yeah, you can. So if you go into Roblox settings, you can turn chat off, and you can also turn off what. So if they're added to your account, so my kid's Roblox account is added to my phone and my devices. You can turn off everything. So you can turn off if somebody adds them, it will ping up on your phone as a notification. Any message that comes through, any friends request, anything, you can set, it's in the settings device, and you can add everything to your device.
I don't know a lot about Roblox, to be fair.
Yeah, if you got
I know it's horrific. I know how bad it is.
Yeah.
But again, unfortunately, in the den, because we do so many apps, we can't do any more than we do.
So, Katie, if you go into your child's Roblox account, and so do you know their username? And you would have had to have set up the thing to their account. So you'd have had to have put a username and a password into their account. If you then go on your account and download Roblox, you can put their username and password into your account, because I have both of my children's Roblox and accounts on my phone. So you just do that and you do that. And I just saw a question about Discord. Guys,
I did answer the Discord one.
Yes,
I wouldn't advise.
Again,
I would not advise any parent to allow their child Discord.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Absolutely not. But again, all these things you can add to your phone. So if your child has Discord, you can add it to your account. So you can add it to your account with their passwords and their username. And then you can filter out what they can see and what they can't see on their Discord.
Sorry, just a quick interrupt. Jelly with the Belly, thank you so much for coming in and supporting the live today. It's been very much appreciated.
Yeah. My kids hate me for what I do to them, but it's for their safe. Yeah, my son just said, yeah, I do. But it's only because they hate me because I monitor their stuff so militantly. It is unreal. And the amount of parents of my son's age that I've said, did you know that you can do this? Did you know that you can do that? And they're like, no, I didn't know you could do that. And I've helped them do all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bubblicious, oh God, okay, I need to know how to add it to my phone. So how does she actually add that to her phone? Was that for Roblox or Discord?
Yeah, so if you've got an iPhone or an Android, if you go into the App Store, so what you do is you go into the App Store, you download it to your phone, and then you put their username and their password into it. But me personally, with my children being 11, 12 and 19, I've had them added to my phone for years and years and years. But for younger children, if you go in and add them and I'm on iPhone, if you go in and add them on your iPhone, it will tell you to set up a family link on your iPhone. It will ask you to put your children's date of birth into your iPhone, and then it will ask you to send a code to your children's phone. You put the code in, and then it links it to your phone.
So, Bubblicious, just so you know, once this live's over, one of us will do a poster on what Jane said. So if you've not picked it up from us talking about all of this, don't worry too much, because we'll all do posters on it after and make it step-by-step instructions if that's helpful. Or again, just message one of us.
Yeah, babe, what I will do, Cobra, is I will not email you, but I'll TikTok link, not TikTok link, I'll TikTok message you and tell you everything that I know about Snapchat, Roblox, Epic Games, all of them.
That would be really useful, thank you.
Yeah, because you can add them all to your phone, and I know I keep saying it, but it frustrates the hell out of me that parents don't know this. And I'm not shaming any parents, but not enough information is given on how parents can do this for their children.
Exactly, which is why we're here.
Yeah.
So we can I just answer Living It Urban? Yes, it will be. You'll be able to rewatch it on The Observer on YouTube. She will upload it and you'll be able to rewatch it on there.
And she's also going to replay it in intervals, just so that people can rewatch it again on TikTok. So she'll do a live replaying it again.
Can I just say on Fortnite as well, because my son plays Fortnite, on Fortnite, you can, Epic Games is a massive thing. Anyone who has a child that plays Minecraft, Fortnite, any of them games, if you download Epic Games, you can see everything. You can see what they spend. You can see who they're talking to. You can even see message accounts if you add their accounts to your Epic Games accounts, because you have to be 18 years old to sign up to an Epic Game account. So if your child has an Epic Game account on Fortnite and they're under 18, it's because they've gone through all the things and they've joined up themselves.
Katie, you're asking if Minecraft's okay. Again, I'm sure the girls will agree with me. No, app is okay. It's down to us as parents to do what we can to keep them safe. Don't ever look at an app or research an app and think it's okay.
Yeah.
Because these monsters get absolutely everywhere. There is no app that I've ever seen or know of where a monster hasn't managed to infiltrate that app.
They will infiltrate any app where there's children. They will infiltrate it 100%.
So, unfortunately, with the world today, we've got no choice but to allow our children devices. It's a must in this society. They need to be able to work, remotely, and they need to be able to use a device and communicate on devices. So unfortunately, as parents and guardians, we don't have a choice in allowing our children devices, but what we do have a choice in is how much we monitor those devices and try our best to keep our children as safe as we can. Yeah, even YouTube for kids. We've had I think it was a couple of years ago, I'm sure Jay will remember, we actually had about 6 children on kids YouTube, and they were moved from kids YouTube over to another app to be groomed. They were taken from the kids YouTube over to a different app, a different communication app. We had about 6 of them.
Someone called Ron in the comments are asking, is there any tips on safeguarding Gorilla Tag on a VR?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
VR,
I'm literally just Googling that at the moment.
Perfect.
Yeah. VR is very hard to safeguard on. It is very, very hard to safeguard on. It's extremely hard.
Always remember as well, when your kids are on these devices, they've got headphones in. Maybe take the especially if they're younger than a teen. Take the headphones off. Be
Yeah.
listening to who they're talking to. Be listening to what's being said to them in the background, even if they're in their bedroom. Keep the door open. You're doing your housework, but listen, hear. Don't allow them to have a pair of headphones on.
So I'm just Googling, and I've just read this bit here where it says, one of the crucial aspects of Gorilla Tag is ensuring safety while playing. Educating your child about online safety and etiquette is essential as a parent.
Yeah, VR is literally impossible to safeguard on because it's a virtual reality, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most dangerous, to be fair, because it is a virtual reality.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I haven't allowed my kid. My son had a VR set, and when I seen some of the stuff on there, I was like, absolutely sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Absolutely not, because it was just, it's wild, yeah.
So one of the things I used to do with my children when they were younger was we had a fruit bowl. We were all Apple, and we still are, but you could do it with Android. We had a fruit bowl on the dining table, and I would say to them, it's time to put the fruit in the bowl. So, and that would mean they'd all have to put their devices in the fruit bowl because it was an apple. And they would put their devices into the fruit bowl, and then I would go through their devices. So again, you can do it that way, but my advice now, technology's come on a long way since. My advice now is spot check. Just spot check. They're on the sofa, they've got the phone. Make them aware before you do it. So you sit them down, you say, look, I just need to know you're being safe. I need to know what's going on your device. I need to know if there is anything going on that you'll come to me. So for the time being, I will be spot checking your phone once, twice, 3 times a week. They're sat on the sofa and just go spot check, and and you expect them to hand you that device instantly, so that they're not getting the chance to hide things. They're not getting the chance to delete apps. But before any of you do anything else on what we've done tonight, go into those Google app stores. Go in, because you haven't layered the children's devices at this point. So get in there and have a look at the app store and have a look at what your children have been downloading.
Yeah, and remember, if anyone's with TalkTalk or Sky, there is a settings in them. It's called ERRO. You can download it on that app, and it prevents all of this. You can set it up to how you want it to be. You can set up age restrictions. You can set up time limits. You can do all of that sort of stuff. Even if they're on their data, it doesn't have to be Wi-Fi. It can be on their data as well.
So back to Gorilla Tag. In conclusion, from what I've just seen, it's generally a safe and fun game for kids, but it is important for parents to understand that they need to communicate with their children about online behaviour and provide appropriate supervision for younger players.
It's disgusting, isn't it, really?
Thank you.
I have to say, Don is an amazing advocate for being able to speak to your children openly and having the open dialogue with your children. So if that's what you feel you need to do, definitely go to Elite, because she's amazing at giving you ideas on how to get that open dialogue with your children.
The Google thing is Sky Family. So if you Google Sky Family, if you're with Sky, it will tell you everything in there, what you need to do.
I've written all these down, and I'm gonna look into these over the next few days and get some posters done and stuff.
Yeah, I'll message you both about them.
Donna, I will screenshot all my notes and send them over to you.
Oh, bless you.
It's all in step-by-step instructions.
Great.
So if I screenshot those and send them over to you, that will help you be able to do the posters.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the comments, guys, that we haven't covered that you would like us to cover?
No, just the Snapchat thing. Just remember, guys, you have to put your children's devices on ghost mode, because it doesn't pick up on Penguin, on 360, any of them apps. You have to put your child's location on ghost mode on Snapchat.
Can I just take us a minute as well, just to thank the Observer for letting us use the platform tonight to
massive.
hold
Thank
our
you.
further on this, and to her moderators as well, because I've been saying that they've been click on the comments.
Yeah, they've been spot on, haven't they? I've watched.
I know,
I've
I'm
been watching.
like into the second word of that person's sentence and it's gone.
Yeah.
So big massive thank you, and to the people that have also came in the box, like Factory, Jelly with the Belly, Jojo, Myla, just to help get the awareness out there to, like, honestly, you don't know how much it means to all of us. So thank you.
Yeah, and I believe there is a big exposure going on over on DC Exposure and on the Ghosts, I think. So I hope we haven't missed
Oh,
that.
and thanks for Jade for coming in as well. I keep forgetting he's on that wee corner, sorry.
You can at least unmute and say thank you, Jay,
know.
or say hello, just so people can hear your voice.
He's
So they know
asleep, probably.
it's you. They know it's you. Then you could be anybody.
No, he's probably
just-
asleep.
Can
No,
I
it's
just say
not
a
asleep.
massive thank you to the Observer again for helping us all out. You're absolutely amazing.
The Observer, believe it or not, she does so much work that people don't see in the
She does.
background.
Yeah, she does.
You know, she's in a group chat and she passes stuff over all the time.
I would just like to know how many devices she has.
Oh my god! But no, she's
That's
amazing,
everything.
and she does an awful lot of work in the background. Not just doing this for us tonight and restreaming these lives. She does
Yeah,
an
she's-
awful lot of safeguarding in the background with predators and children.
And she does.
So massive thank you for all the work that you do, and for all the stuff that you bring to us so that we can do. Yeah, she's amazing.
Doesn't get the recognition. Is it the recognition?
She doesn't get the recognition she deserves. She absolutely doesn't, Hayley. You're right.
That's the word. She doesn't, and she always, like, even when I'm just having one of my mischievous, funny lives, she always pops in and says hi, and she's always there, and she's just amazing. So thank you, the Observer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Observer.
Yay! There we go. He's there.
That was- Everybody's was just wondering if you were a robot or not, because you were just sitting there quietly. But no, thank you. I am going to just drop just now.
Yeah, me too.
But again, thank you for everybody, and thanks for the comments as well with your questions too. And yeah, if you can just repost and share the post and the posters that get made, that would be amazing.
Lovely. And still love you, Jay.
You too, Donna.
Oh, bless you. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, just listen, just share what you've learned. If you've learned anything, share it with family, share it with friends, share it with people at the school. The more any information that you've received tonight gets out there, the better.
And if you'd like us to do this again, just let us know, because we're more than happy to come on and do it again if you guys need it.
Yeah, I did think we're going to try and aim and do like one a month, the end of every month or something, just like, because there's new people on the app all the time and whatever. So yeah, if we can do that, then we're still doing our bit, aren't we?
Absolutely.
And I'll continue with the posters and everything else, and you wonderful lot of Cobra and the Den will continue to do what you do, and people hopefully now will know where we are if they have any questions or anything.
Fingers crossed. There's we got quite a few in tonight, so
Yeah.
Even if 5 took on board what we've said, then it was worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, good night, everybody, and thank
Right.
you again, Observer, you little legend.
Yes.
Good night, ladies. Night, Jay.
Bye. Bye.